Welcome to Nature's Nuggets. Today we will see some of the weirdest and most astonishing creatures ever. Don't miss this wild adventure. Let's go. These killer whales have amazing seal catching equipment. They just swim under the ice floe where the prey is resting and create a wave with a synchronized tail flick that knocks off the seal. Then they quickly grab the unfortunate animal. Each killer whale must eat at least one seal per day, so they repeat this trick over and over. The poor seals think they are completely safe, but the cunning killer whales and the laws of physics take them by surprise. The killer whales use their high intelligence to the maximum. However, in these 7 years of documentaries, more interesting shots were captured. For example, look at this seal lying on a huge ice floe. The killer whales will never be able to create a large enough wave to wash it off such a whopper. They would need a whole tsunami for that. So, what do? They look around and think over a plan. It seems that this seal has outsmarted them. It is absolutely out of reach. But these insidious, though cute-looking predators, are not satisfied with this situation. The killer whales understand that they need to change tactics. Now they need a wave below the surface of the water. As a result, they manage to break the huge ice floe into small pieces, but this is useless, as they still cannot create a wave that will wash off the seal. The wave will be extinguished by other ice floes that surround the one where the seal lies. Moreover, the position of the seal has become even more secure, since its current platform will be impossible to break. It is already small and therefore more durable, and waves, as I said before, will not reach it. What should the killer whales do? The matriarch of the family has a plan. Can you guess what they will do? Yes, they just push the ice floe into the open waters where other ice floes will not dampen their wave. It is ingenious. The poor animal is doomed. It is lost to the intellect of these creatures. Next, they follow the classic scheme. A wave is created, the ice floe breaks, and the seal becomes more vulnerable. Then, with coordination and precision, the matriarch pushes the ice floe into open waters again to create a larger wave. Another wave follows, and the seal is in the water. But as I said before, crab-eater seals are much harder prey than Weddell seals. They have much more strength to instantly jump back on the ice floe. The killer whales spent many efforts and decided to switch to other prey, and soon they stumble upon a sea leopard. This animal is already so unlucky. Killer whales rightfully occupy the top place in the list of smartest predators on the planet. Living in the jungles of Costa Rica, there is an extremely unusual lizard called Anola who has a recently discovered ability. This lizard can breathe underwater by using air bubbles trapped between its scales. One day, the lizard noticed a bird of the species moment, a predator that hunts it. The lizard tried to escape, but soon a stream blocked its way and there was nowhere to run. But the bird did not give up. It waited for the lizard to come out of the water, thinking that it could not stay underwater for a long time, but it was wrong. This lizard had a secret weapon when it was submerged. Something fantastic happened. The air bubbles enclosed between its scales moved towards its head, forming a real built-in scuba. This allowed the animal to breathe underwater for about 18 minutes, which was enough to make even the most patient Momid lose interest and fly away. The little lizard survived thanks to its superpower. In Lake Tanganyika, a male cichlid fish is trying to impress a female. He performs his dance, showing off his colors and releasing a pheromone that stimulates the female. But there is one problem. This pheromone also attracts gang catfish, also known as cuckoo catfish. They know what it means. The cichlids are ready to lay eggs. Each egg is the size of a sesame seed. A perfect snack for the catfish. They eat as many eggs as they can and then mate themselves, leaving behind some delayed action bombs. The mother cichlid instinctively collects all the eggs, but she does not eat them. She has a special ability. She grows her babies in her mouth, turning it into a safe and mobile home where her offspring can grow up. But, as we remember, this cichlid picked up some strangers when the cuckoo catfish threw their eggs in her clutch. And now, unbeknownst to her, in her mouth there is a mixed offspring. And some of them grow faster than others. Can you guess who? All this time, she is growing someone else's offspring right in her mouth. The other children are twice their size, and they begin to greedily devour the little cichlids. Something incredible is happening right in the mouth of the mother. Her own children are being killed and eaten by the intruders. She suspects nothing, even when she opens her mouth wide. The cuckoo catfish let themselves swallow their unfortunate step-siblings whole. In the mother's mouth, there is a real massacre. The treacherous catfish will soon outgrow their nursery. There is little room for them in the mouth after they jump out. They swim away alone without attracting attention until they are ready to attack another unsuspecting mother. Only a few of the real children of the cichlid manage to survive such a brutal sibling rivalry. On the snowy peaks of Denali in Alaska, the eternal winter reigns. Here, a tiny creature lives and thrives in the frosty slopes. These slopes are adorned with many deep glacial cracks, reaching up to 30 meters in depth. They are home to some of the most incredible creatures on the planet. Ice worms. Ice worms are like a miracle of nature that is hard to believe. Unless you see it yourself, they do not just live in ice, they flourish in it. They only do well in freezing cold temperatures, which give them energy. Scientists do not know for sure how they survive in such conditions, but they do know that without cold, they immediately die. At +4 degrees Celsius, they start to melt and die. At 10 degrees, they are guaranteed to perish. They feed on snow algae, which live on the surface of the ice. According to experts, each glacier in these mountains hides up to 5 billion ice worms. That is a lot of biomass for such an unsuitable place for life. These cold-loving organisms give scientists hope for the existence of life on other planets that are colder than Earth. And the most interesting thing is that just 30 years ago, the existence of these ice worms was considered unscientific in terms of biology. If you told someone about them at that time, you would be called a crazy person who lacked critical thinking. In the desert, there is an extremely weird spider that makes an amazing sand ball on a silk thread. These balls are hung low from almost every ledge in the area, each about a centimeter in diameter. They are made of a complex weave of silk, sand, and pebbles. Inside the sphere, there is a small hideout where the spider hides in safety. It only comes out at night. The spider leaves its house only to decorate it and to use it for catching prey. It stretches a capture thread from the ball to the sand on the ground. This is an ant trap. As soon as an ant falls into its sticky trap, its fate is sealed. The spider feels the vibration and starts to lift the ant into its lair. This looks fantastic. As documentaries filmed for the first time a few years ago showed, the more the ant resists, the tighter the noose gets. Every night, the spider catches several writhing victims. This is one of the amazing survival strategies in the desert. You are looking at a fly called the ant hoverfly. She has recently mated and now flies to explore the area. She is looking for a nest of Japanese ants, but why does a fly need ants? It's all because she wants to lay eggs in their nest. It may sound logical, but wait, it's not that simple, but now you will understand. The fly's instinct makes her seek the most resourceful nest of ants. She flies up to it, finds a crack or a hole that leads to the right place, the nest entrance, and she lays eggs there. No matter how the ants try to push her out, even bite her, the hoverfly does not move. She is completely focused on laying eggs. She lays about 10 pieces at a time, and now they are all orphans in an ant's nest. What happens next? A week later, hoverfly larvae begin to hatch, and almost simultaneously after that, the larvae immediately begin to crawl inside the nest to find something edible. But isn't that suicide? No, the ants will not destroy them. How do these weak larvae survive in the anthill? They have it all figured out. For 3 months, the hoverflies have changed noticeably. Their soft bodies have become hard. This allows them to fend off the attacks of the ants. They completely hide their heads under their bodies, shaped like a shell. But at the same time, they expose 2 of their tentacles, which they use as antennae and also emit a smell that imitates the smell of ants. And while the ants are deceived by the smell, the larvae of hoverflies quickly drag under their shell ant larvae and quietly eat them there. And when the ant realizes it, the larvae of hoverflies are no longer reachable for them. The ant larvae caught by the armor can no longer escape from the hungry hoverflies. Hoverfly larvae suck out and larvae insides. They eat over 120 ants, and the ants are helpless. This is the death's head hogmoth. Its favorite food is nectar, but its children are voracious tomato killers. In just 3 weeks, they grow 16 times in size. One caterpillar can eat a whole bush, and an army of such caterpillars can destroy a whole field. And here the dilemma rises: what to do when there is nothing to eat, but they are still hungry? These caterpillars do not like this problem, so they decide to solve it radically. They start to eat each other. These are caterpillars cannibals. This way, there is a chance that at least some of them will live to turn into butterflies. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and put likes. Your support means a lot to me and helps me create more content for you. See you in the next video.